is here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
One of our goals here, ladies and gentlemen, is to remove Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, for the sake of the Republic and the sake of dinner, so we can keep our food down. We have an excellent candidate running, Pat Fallon, in Texas, in the 4th Congressional District. Pat, how are you?
Mark, it's always a spectacular day when you're in the presence of the Great One.
Wow, that's very kind of you. Boy, you know how to you kiss babies, too, I'm guessing. I don't know. Well, Pat, that's very, very kind of you. Pat, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Mark, thanks for having me on. I'm the son of retired school teachers, and my folks taught me and my sisters to value two things, really. You know, of an education and a strong work ethic. Instead of whining about things you want, work for it. I went to the University of Notre Dame, had an ROTC scholarship. I happened to play football for Coach Lou Holtz, who's also a great conservative. We won the national championship my junior year, so I clearly have good timing. And then went in the Air Force for 4 years. It brought me down to Texas, served for 4 years honorably, and then started a decades-long entrepreneurial career. Then in 2008, when Obama won and wanted to fundamentally change America, I had to do something. I wanted to do my part. I ended up running for city council, then serving in the state house for 6 years, and then in the state senate, and now running for Congress.
Now, tell us about this district.
It's a great district full of great Americans. It's 18 counties, just to the slight north and to the east of Dallas. And so it starts out in Grayson and Collin counties, goes all the way to Texarkana and the Arkansas and Louisiana border. Very conservative. Folks want less government and more liberty. So you would love it, and you should come down to the 4th Congressional District anytime. You're beloved down here, Mark.
Let me tell you something, Pat. I remember when that was sort of a yellow dog district many, many decades ago. What kind of a district is it now? Is it Republican, marginal?
It's very conservative. The thing is, this district's pretty special. It was Sam Rayburn represented it, and then Ray Roberts,
right.
And then Ralph Hall, who was a Democrat, and then, of course, switched at the end. But he did vote to impeach Clinton, so even as a Democrat, that was a good thing. And then John Ratcliffe, as you know, has just done such a spectacular job in the last 5 years. But I do have a liberal running. I have a libertarian running. I got a write-in candidate. And I was nominated in an odd way because John had already been nominated during the primary. So when he got selected to be the DNI, the party itself had to select a person, so it was only 154 precinct chairs and county chairs that determined out of 22 candidates who the nominee would be to replace John.
Tell us about your opponent.
Don't know much about him other than he's a garden variety liberal. He thinks goods and services, like most of them do, fall from the sky and they're made by leprechauns and, unicorns and mermaids. His platform should be called like the less liberty liberal. He opposes school choice. He supports net neutrality. He wants more regulation in the banking industry as if they're not regulated enough. He wants paid leave for both parents. And get this, he magically wants to make education cost less, but he wants to increase teacher pay. So I don't know how you do both those things, unless, of course, you just go to Nancy Pelosi and she just prints you more money and then devalues it, and it defeats the whole purpose in the first place.
You just lie. That's what you do.
Well,
Pat Fallon, let me ask you this. In terms of raising money and so forth, how does it look for you and for him? Do you know?
Yeah, no, Mark, we need all the help we can get because I have to brand, because I was just nominated. I replaced John on the ballot as of August. So if people go to FallonForCongress.com, we'd really appreciate any help. We're going to run some TV. We have to. But that also helps President Trump. President Trump right now is in a tight race in Texas, and anybody down ballot that's supporting, and our TV commercial will feature some clips of President Trump as well. And we ended straight ticket voting in Texas. This will be the first election you have to actually, peck all the way down. And we want to make sure that people not only vote for President Trump and John Cornyn for Senate, but they have to go all the way down the ballot because our state house is in peril, and that's just before redistricting. And so the Democrats and Eric Holder...
Wait. Your state house is in trouble?
Yeah, when I was serving, it was 95 Republicans and 55 Democrats. It's now 83-67, so if they flip 9 seats, Democrats will be in charge of redistricting, which will be a disaster. We'll never...
What is going on? People moving in from outside the state?
Yeah, and we have to do a better job of messaging. My wife says we're up against a cult of personality. We have no personalities. We have to be fierce, like Ted Cruz, like you. We have to be likable. We have to be smart. We have to get out there. The best thing the thing I'm most proud of is I knock more doors after I win an election than before, because it's the best way to put your hand on the pulse of the district that you want to represent. And have in-person town halls. I've had 40 in the last 2 years. You listen to your constituents, then they know they care about you. You care about them, and you do that with your actions, not your words. And more Republicans in Texas need to do that. But yeah, we got people moving in, and the biggest thing is this, and I hope people across the country get this. It's not enough for you to be conservative. You have to ensure that your children are conservative, and you need to give them the systematic liberal vaccine before they go off to university.
Mm-hmm. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah, it's
social media is playing with their heads. The culture, media, it's very tough. You have to be very resolute. You got to do the very best you can and stay engaged, you know?
Oh, yeah, we get clobbered. And I won the Senate seat that I represent 1 million people right now in 14 counties, and only 2 of them overlap with the 18. So right now, roughly kind of working in 30 counties. But we won by 50 percentage points in that Senate district in Texas, 75-25. But there's a few colleges in a city of Denton. I lost those couple of precincts by 3,000 votes. 85% of the vote went Democratic. And that doesn't bode well for the future. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
I guess that's why Bernie Sanders wants free college, so everybody can have their brains washed like that. So if people want to help, folks, it's FallonForCongress.com, Fallon for Congress.com. This is another seat that we have to have if we're going to remove Nancy Pelosi. Pat Fallon is FallonForCongress.com, Fallon for Congress.com. If you live in his district, I'm sure he can use volunteers. But nationwide, all of these members are important to us because we need to flip the House and we need to make sure our country is protected. Pat Fallon, I want to thank you, my friend.
No, amen. And Mark, I want to let everybody know one thing, that they can put their heads and have solace that I get elected. When AOC takes those crazy and terrible votes, I'm going to cancel it out every time.
Mm-hmm. And I want to tell everybody something else. You're a really good guy. My wife and I met you. You're a character. You're a really good guy. You're funny. You're smart. And you're motivated. And I want to thank you. Glad you're running for this seat.
Julie made it all the way to the top of the mountain on the hike with Heidi Cruz.
But you didn't, did you?
No, I did. Me, Heidi, and Julie were the only 3 that made it.
Yeah, but you were huffing and puffing. Julie never huffs and puffs.
I was huffing and puffing. Julie was fine. She could have gone up another mountain.
Yeah, she's a marathon runner, so we don't talk about that. No. All right, the reason we don't is because I'm not. You know what we have on the back of our car, Pat? We have one of those, whatever it is, 21.3 miles or whatever, I forget what it is for a marathon runner. And then on the other side, we have one of the 0.0. That's me. I'm the 0.0. She runs more than I drive.
Well,
all right, brother.
I thought the 0.0 represented Nancy Pelosi's IQ, but be that.
You know what? You're right. I made a mistake. All right, brother. Well, God bless. We wish you all the best. You're terrific.
God bless you, Mark. The great one. Thank you. This was a thrill. I appreciate it.
You bet. This guy's good. You can tell he's good. It's Pat Fallon, and it's FallonForCongress.com, Fallon for Congress.com. We met this gentleman in Colorado, and he is absolutely terrific.